I want everyone to give a big round of applause for Torres!
Thank you. I heard what you did for Robbie. Stop it.
Sorry.
But as you can tell by my outfit, I hate myself. Just kind of a thing I do. And actually, the only thing I hate more than me is the DMV. I just, because like you go there and you're trying to be early, and it's like 8 a.m., but there's people in tents like waiting overnight, like it's Black Friday. And then you get in and it's like, hey, I'm first, and it's like, you're still not getting out till noon. I don't know why you're wasting your time here. And then, like, I got to the clerk, and I was like filling out paperwork and stuff, but behind the girl was this arrogantly large poster. Like, just huge, and it said, our vision is to provide peak service to everyone, every time. And all I could think was, clearly those clerks don't have to take that little eye exam, because your vision is really fucked up. And then they just give you this like losing lottery ticket number, and you go sit down. And then it turns into the world's worst game of bingo. They're like, F47, and you're like, I was so close. I'm 815. But it's weird because like then when they finally do call your number and you're excited and you're happy, you go running up to the desk and you're like, me! And they're like, do you have government form A175B? And you go, what's that? And they go, here's another number, loser, sit back down. And they call your number, you can come back up and then find out what that is. And it's like a love-hate for me with the DMV. Like, I hate it when I have to go there to do a thing, but I love it when it's my day off and I just sit there because in the room, like, I hate happy people. And it's the perfect place for me. Because I can't stand happy people, and because they go around like Jehovah's Witnesses, just spreading their smiles. It's like, I'm not buying, buddy. But I wish I could spread my misery the same way they spread their happiness. But apparently that's socially unacceptable. You know, if a dude's like, did you hear? My wife just gave birth to 2 boys, twins, and they're healthy as can be. And I just want to blast them in the face. I'm like, what a long face. You broke my nose. Fuck your family. How about that? I hate happy people. I don't hate happiness. I just hate happy people because they give happiness a bad name. Like, if you want to be happy, but keep it to yourself. Why does that have to be a thing that everyone else has to know about? But now it's all over. If you turn on the TV, it's like eHarmony every time you turn on the TV. It's just happy people meeting happy people and making happy fucking families. And I'm sick. I can't stand it because to me, like, if I was to make an eHarmony profile, it would just say, man seeks beer. And like, that's pretty much it. But it's just eHarmony, happy people, meeting happy people, making happy families. And it frustrates me, you know, because they make these profiles where like, I'm Sarah, and I like mojitos, I like long walks on the beach, I enjoy music. I'm like, really? In Blacksburg, you enjoy long walks on the beach? Really? What beach exactly? I'm curious. Personally, I say, fuck you and fuck the beach. Not a fan of either you or the beach. Because the beach, there's sand everywhere. And then the sun's beating down on you and it's really hot. And everyone's topless. When else is that socially acceptable to be topless? Wherever you go. But then the sun tag teams it with the sand and then they burn your feet and it sucks and it's hot and it's shitty. And then, if you ask me, the beach kind of smells like regurgitated seagulls. And I'm not talking about like a seagull that had entirely too many breadcrumbs. I mean like there's a family of 5. And the kids are like throwing rocks into the sand dune and scaring up the birds and the dad's there with a bow. He just like shoots one and the mom's like a golden retriever like, look what we got. And then they're just starting a bonfire. And they're just slowly roasting that seagull over the bonfire. But then apparently Uncle Bob undercooked it a little bit, and the kids are now regurgitating seagull all over the beach. That's what the beach smells like to me. And they start these online dating profiles, eHarmony and stuff like that, and then there's other websites, like I Hate Happy People. I thought I was the only one that hated happy people. And then I heard a radio ad, because there's someone else out there that hates happy people more than me. There's a radio ad for, if you want to cheat on your significant other anonymously, you can sign up and join that. And so, if you have to pay money to join a website to meet a girl, to cheat on a girl that you met on a website that you paid money to join. That's fucking brilliant. I really wish I had thought of that. But then it upsets me that people are actually paying to like join websites like that, because if you want to cheat on your significant other, male or female, if you want to cheat on your significant other anonymously, just start using MySpace again. Nobody's checking that shit. You're safe. You're in the clear. Because MySpace, right now, like MySpace is for music. And I just feel if you start cheating and then like, because there's music, there's gonna be like little kids and stuff like that, so there's gonna be pedophiles. But like, give it 5 years, and MySpace is gonna be for cheaters, pedophiles, and occasionally good tunes. That's all it's gonna be, and it's gonna be fantastic. It's the Underground Railroad of cheating. No one will suspect a thing. I hate people that start sentences with the phrase, tell me why. They're like, tell me why I went out to a bar last night, got crazy drunk. Woke up this morning, still drunk. Fuck you. Not a thing. Stupid things. People say stupid things all the time because, like, before the show, people are like, break a leg. And I'm like, that's dumb. You want to wish me good luck? Say good luck. That's it. Just say good luck. Because that's theater talk. Break a leg. It's good luck to wish someone bad luck so that they have good luck. Because when else would that apply? You can't, like, if my roommate's going out on a date, I can't be like, hey, good luck, almost jinxed you. No, seriously though, hope you get AIDS. Like, bring it in, you bitch. Hurt 5. Sick of that shit. And another dumb thing that people say is, like, I think my favorite is when people come up to me like, hey, you gonna watch the game this weekend? I'm like, nah, I got plans. Like, you're gay. Really? Is that how that works? I'm gay now? Like 2 weeks from now, I'm sucking a dick in an alley like, that was a slippery slope! Should've watched the game. I don't hate everything though. I know it sounds like I'm a bummer. I like music. I like a lot of music, mostly like heavy stuff. But recently I've been getting into like rap, because rap, like hip hop and stuff, the lyrics are getting a lot more clever all of a sudden. Before it was like in the club, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I'm actually at work and can't relate. But now like it's really cool because like there's artists like Lil Wayne put out like he had this one, oh what was that line? He was just it was so brilliant. He's like, I'm married to the game, but she broke her vows. I was like, nice. I like that. Eminem had one where he was like, I'm standing on top of my Monopoly board. That means I'm on top of my game. I was like, that's awesome, and I'm jealous. Because I can't do that up here. I can't just be like, hey guys, just so you know, I have a cold. So I hope you're ready to hear some sick jokes. It's not a thing. Like that song, Best I Ever Had. It's about by Drake, is that, yeah? You guys know that song? Best I Ever Had? You the fucking best, you the fucking best, best I ever had. I'm like, yeah. Alright, I like the part where he randomly just starts talking about queefing in the middle of it. You guys know what I'm talking about, don't you? Like, girl, I'm gonna make that pussy whistle like the Andy Griffith theme song. I'm like, you wanna do what? That's a really long song. And you want to make it whistle it? How tight does it have to be to like... And then how do you get that much air in? Is it like a bike pump where you're just like... I see that being used more as like a commercial, because like guys have like Enzyte, and those Enzyte commercials and stuff. I see it being more like a female, like a douche commercial, you know? Like girls walking into the office and then like all the dudes are checking her out, like she's a hot young brunette in like a smart pantsuit. And they're like, dude, look at her over there, right? But then she's taking a sip of her soybean latte, but the whistling continues. And they're like, what? And then it just says, Summer's Eve, clean as a whistle. A lot of thoughts. Just thoughts. I think the national anthem's long enough, by the way. I don't know why everyone that tries to sing the national anthem makes it way longer than it really needs to be. They're just, oh, say, can you see? We are 5 words into this song. That's not necessary. And at the end, it's like they never want it to end. And the home of the B-R-A-V-E, the bravest, we are the bravest. Stop it. Metallica should be the only one with a 7-minute runtime. And by the way, government, if you want people to stop illegally downloading music, maybe you shouldn't give it such an awesome name. Piracy? Are you shitting me? Childhood dream come true. Talk to my friends, like, check out this new song I got from iTunes, it's only 99 cents. And I'm like, I don't pay for my music. Where do you get your music from? I'm a swashbuckler. But I do worry because music, like, I started out pirating music, and then it like turned into like, it's not really gateway drug, it's just a gateway pirating. Because I can pirate better and better things now. Like, I moved on from music, like, for example, I don't have health insurance, But somehow this old sea dog still knows how to get his hands on some pretty good Percocet. Just saying. I don't know. I like kids. I used to. Let me correct that. I used to like kids. Then my friends started having kids, because we're at that age where everyone's starting to have kids. And it really warped my opinion on kids. Because they're like, Aaron, when are you going to have a baby like mine? Look at him. Look at him. Look at, he's crawling. Look at, I made that. It's amazing. Best conscious decision I ever made in my life. I'm like, first of all, I was at that party. You can take the word conscious out of that. And then you're left with like, best decision I ever made with my life. I remember before he was little Trevor, we were calling Mom's little 9-month hangover. just hanging around. And I worry because I have a lot of anxiety, so I worry about like, I don't know a lot about kids. I don't have them. I'd like to, maybe, I guess, but I don't have them. I've never been exposed to them, so I have questions. Like, if your kid comes in your room in the middle of the night and he wants to sleep with you because he's afraid of the storm, what are the rules on spooning? Like, can I? Or does he have to? Or do we both awkwardly, like... Do I have to 96 my kid? And then what if it's a boy and you're changing his diaper and he pees on you? What are the rules on retaliation? Like, do you have to be an adult, or can you say, fuck him, he's not forming memories yet? I don't know. I just, like, for me, like, so many people are talking about, like, you know, if you're a parent, I think you'd be a good parent, or I don't think you're fit to be a parent, and there's all these different things, and I don't know what kind of parent I want to be. I just know what kind of parent I don't want to be, which is, like, the kind of parent where when all the kids get together on the playground, and then the parents gather around, and they're talking, and it turns into, like, almost, you're almost watching a dog competition. They're like, now entering the playground, we have Tammy and her son Trevor. Trevor's a Caucasian short hair. He likes punk rock music and hopes to do something in agriculture someday. Next up we have Bonquisha and her son Jamal. Jamal has been captain of the 8th grade football team for 5 years in a row now. That's not easy to do. Finally, we have the final contestants, Mr. and Mrs. Kwan, and their son, we just call him Bing Bong. And I gotta be honest with you, Jim, I don't think straight A's are gonna be enough to win it this year. It's a pretty stiff competition. I'm more worried about, like, what kind of parent I want. Because I don't want to be a bad parent. Because if you're a bad parent, your kids end up in an orphanage. And an orphanage is just a Babies R Us for people looking to adopt. They're like, come right in. Do you want white babies, black babies, yellow babies? We got those. Everything under one roof. Do you want babies with a predisposition for alcoholism? Babies going through withdrawal? We got those. Just stating facts, people. Come on. Babies are tough. They suck up all your time. They suck up all your freedom. And I have all this anxiety, and I worry a lot about babies and stuff. But I worry more about my life. Like, my family's here tonight. They drove all the way down from DC to be here for this show. Stop. No, they're not doing anything. Mom's not gonna get up here and shuck and jive for you. She's just gonna sit there, drink her wine, and be embarrassed. Like, let her be that. But they did. They drove all the way down, and I had this anxiety attack like a week ago because I realized everyone important that I love is getting into one car. and heading this way. And at first I was really jealous. So I was like, they're gonna have so much fun in that car for 4 hours that I don't get to be a part of. But then I started to freak out. My anxiety kicked in. I was like, what if they died? Everyone I love is in that car. You know, and like, because at first I was excited. I was like, yeah, you know, my mom and my friend Nick's gonna be in the front seat, you know, just listening to good tunes, passing a doobie, reliving the 80s. My brother and his boyfriend are gonna be in the back seat, just blowing each other. Right? But then what happens is, like, you know, Nick's trying to pass the roach, and then Mom kind of fumbles with it and drops it, and it starts to burn her. And she's pissed. Not because it's burning, but she just bought these pants from TJ Maxx. So she's trying to find it. Nick, also, priorities, trying to find the roach, reaches in. Mom's like, get out of there, right? So her eyes aren't on the road. She veers off, hits a telephone pole. She goes through the windshield. Nick goes through the windshield. Both cocks actually go through the windshield. It's really weird. But you guys are still in the car. Fuck you, it's my fantasy. You know, I want them all to go out the way they would like most enjoy. You know. Like, he loves cocks, so let him have it. And then, you know, Mom in the 80s, and great. But unfortunately, the show will not be that depressing tonight. Because my mom's never dropped a roach a day in her life. She... Yeah, I pointed at you too, so they know where you're at. But, no, I have all this anxiety. I worry about things that, like, never could possibly happen. And then I worry about things that do happen, and like, things that aren't in my control. Like, one night I got off work a little bit late, and I went to the store to get some beer, because I'm an alcoholic. It's what they tell me, it's not true. So I'm getting some beer, and then I realized as I'm walking out, and I'm happy, I'm like the happiest I can be. I'm holding a case, and I'm like, this is a good night. I'm off work, I got nothing to do. Then it hits me like, I didn't text my girlfriend to let her know I was gonna be really late. And so I started to worry. Like, I got in the car and I'm driving home and I'm running through it in my mind, like, what's gonna happen? Where she's just like, where were you? And I'm like, I got off work late. And then I wanted some beer. Here's the beer as proof that I did that. And she's like, you're cheating on me. I'm like, I'm not. And then, you know, like, there's gonna be this whole, like, miscommunication, mistrust thing. And then she's gonna wait like 2 weeks, and she's gonna stay out super late to get back at me for that. And like, I'm walking to the door now, I'm out of my car, and I'm at home, and I'm like shaking to put my key in the lock, so I'm like, this argument's gonna happen, better be ready. And as soon as I put my key in the lock, I realized I don't even have a girlfriend. That was for nothing. And I genuinely wish I could be like my dog, because my dog doesn't give a shit about osteoporosis. But I'm afflicted, and I am concerned. My anxiety, it's got me into, it's got me in a lot of trouble. Yeah, thanks. My friends tell me, like, you need to just mellow out. That's what they say, mellow out. And I was like, I'm pretty mellow right now. They're like, no, you need to smoke some weed. And I'm like, alright. And I don't know if I'm smoking the wrong kind or what, but almost like Chris Brown, my friend's girlfriend. Because I thought she stole my cell phone. It turns out my pockets go way deeper than I thought they did. Blew my mind, man. And I went to, what? Priorities. I went to Walmart once. Actually, I bought this hat from Walmart, and then I went back to Walmart to buy other things. And I saw my hat, and I was like, hey, there it is. And then, which, by the way, Walmart, have you guys noticed the hierarchy of shopping centers we have around here? Like, there's Walmart and Target are at like the top. They're bright red, bright blue. You walk inside, the lights are really bright. People are like walking through and they're happy to be there. There's loud music. You walk to the DVD section, they're organized by genre and alphabetically. And then you go to Kmart, and it's a little bit more dim. You know, the lights are a little, and the music's a little bit softer, and it's just kind of like broken homes, like shuffling through the aisles. And the DVDs are just kind of slapped on the shelf, like, fuck it, it's Kmart, what do you expect? And then you go to the dollar store. And then there's almost no light, like they're running off of natural sunlight alone. Music's non-existent. And it's just single mothers looking haggard, buying fun-sized portion of SpaghettiOs to last them a week. And then in this depressing atmosphere, there's 3 stoner kids just sword fighting in a corner. Anyway, I was at Walmart, and I saw my hat, and my anxiety kicked in. And I started to think, oh no, they're gonna think you stole this. So I took it off and I hid it in my jacket, you know, to look less suspicious. And I was heading for the door. And then this weird, like, anxiety fantasy played through my mind, where, like, I'm at the door, and it opens, but then there's a double door, so it takes a second, and I'm just like, I gotta get out of here, and then they get me. You know, like, they just grab me, and they pull me into this weird, like, Walmart interrogation room. They're like, you're not from around here, are you, boy? Like, technically, I'm from Jersey, I guess. They're like, we don't take too kindly to shoplifting around here. I'm like, I bought this hat. He's like, you Arabs are all the same. I'm Puerto Rican. I don't see any glittering rainbows. That's a wrong pride parade. Shit. Happens all the time. And I get this anxiety over just nothing. Like I was afraid I was bad at sex. So like, I would always ask my ex-girlfriends, like, hey, am I bad at sex? And they're like, no, baby, you're fine. But they would always use the same tone my mom would use when she's like, you're a catch. So it makes it really, really difficult to trust that logic, but, like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm bad at sex. I'm just saying, I found out recently that women aren't the only ones with a G-spot. Apparently men have them too. And if after 24 years I haven't found my own, maybe I'm not the dude to be poking around in there. You know, it's like, is that it? And I'm like, no. How about now? Still no. And the whole time, all I'm really thinking is, I wish I clipped my nails today. I don't know what pap is, but you have it, and I feel like I'm scraping for it. I get anxious a lot because I don't want to blame it on my childhood, but when I was a kid, my uncle used to live with us, and then he went to jail. My mom didn't want to expose me to things before my time, so I was like, "Where's Uncle Bob?" And she was like, "He went camping." Like, she was really quick, she was good. And I was like, "Camping where?" And she was like, upriver? He went upriver. Your uncle went upriver. I said, well, he needs to be careful. So here, bears like to wait by the river and paw the fish. If he's not careful, he'll get scratched. She's like, oh no, he doesn't have to worry about that where he's at. Where he's at, the bears will just bend you over and fuck you. So don't never go camping. Terrified of getting old. I really don't want to get old. Because old people, they get away with a lot of things, you know, like bigotry and shoplifting, and it sounds fun and all. Like I kind of want that in my life. Like I want to hit that one day where I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to work anymore. So I won't. For the rest of my life, actually, I'm retired. That's what we're gonna call it. I'm done. I love that. But I'm young. So I matter. I don't want to get old. And I'm terrified that I'm gonna get old and then my funeral is just gonna be like grandchildren like shuffling forward. They're gonna have their phone just click, 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 click. Click. R.I.P. Grandpa. Hashtag there goes my Christmas presents. I matter. Terrified of getting old and thing is like I don't want to get old. I don't plan on it. Like I plan more on like a Cobain kind of old. Like a Kurt Cobain old is okay for me. 20, because like suicide's an interesting topic to me. Because like I get really depressed and I tend to do a lot of like depressed things, but suicide's interesting because it's the only thing that's uniquely human. No other animal is like killing themselves. You don't see a gazelle on the plains of Africa just drowning himself in the water hole. And then the other gazelles are like, Ted, what are you doing? He's like, fuck it, man, that cheetah's way faster. I'm out of here. It sucks. You know? And monkeys don't kill themselves. And I think I figured out why. I think it's because mankind is the only species that kills themselves because it's the only species where women just really developed the ability to nag the shit out of you. Because if you go to a zoo, hear me out, if you go to a zoo and you see the monkeys, what are they doing most of the time? They're just like kind of shitting in their hands and throwing it, or like violently jerking off. But if their species could talk, you know the women would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop that, that's disgusting. My parents are coming over. Oh, you'd rather touch yourself than touch me. I see how this is gonna go. No, I have a lot of depression, a lot of dark thoughts. And you know you're truly depressed. You're truly depressed when the highlight of your day is you get to use the phrase, 2 birds, 1 stone. Because it's never in a good way. You know, it's never like, hey, I'm gonna go out to the bank and then I'm gonna go shopping. 2 birds, 1 stone, herpader. It's always more like you're finishing up on the toilet and you realize you're out of toilet paper. So you kind of just look at the shower and go, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm not saying kill you. If you're at that point, I'm not saying kill yourself. I'm just saying it's a hobby depressed people tend to have. I don't know. I try and have fun with depression. You know, like I pranked phone called the suicide hotline one time. You know, and he's like, suicide hotline, how may I help you? And I was like, kind of thinking about killing myself. What do you suggest I do? He was really quick to respond. He was like, I suggest you don't do it. No. I think you didn't understand. See, I'm thinking about killing myself, but I don't want to die in a very conventional way. Like, I feel like everybody hangs themselves. I don't want to go out like that. So what about, like, battle axe to the head? Have you ever heard about that before? It's like, nah, I can't say that I have. I'm like, thanks, dude, you're a lifesaver. Boy, that'd be the worst job in the world. Working at the suicide hotline. How terrible would that be? You know, because you're trying to be happy, you're waking up at 7 a.m. and you're going to work, and you get your big gulp of coffee, you put your headset on, you sit down at cubicle 7, and then right away you got some asshole just kind of screaming in your ear, like, I'm gonna jump, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, dude, it's 7:01, like, why would you? Come on, man. And then if he did, like, that's the part of the job I don't think I could do. Because what if he did? What if he jumped? I don't think I could talk someone down from a ledge, because to me there's nothing more frustrating than when someone just stops talking in the middle of a sentence. That shit just gets old. All right, cool. Great suicide crowd tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I thought it was funny because, like, I told jokes about animal suicides, and I thought those were hilarious. But then I actually witnessed one. Totally new perspective. Because, like, I've been alone for a while. Like, my girlfriend left me, and she asked me to do 3 things. She said, don't do drugs, don't drink so much, don't you ever lie to me. And I said, those are my 3 favorite things to do. So she's gone. And I decided, hey, you know what? I need a companion. You know, someone that I can like love and like invest myself into and take care of, be responsible for someone else other than myself. And you know, you come home and like the tail's wagging and they're happy to see you, but then my landlord said dogs are not allowed. So I went with the next best thing. I got a fish. I named him Leonardo da Fishy. Thank you, I was proud of that one too. Problem is, I was like, hey, you know, like I got this fish and like he's got big eyes and he's all blue and he's got his tail's all huge, and I was really happy and excited. I bought a big tank. I spent like $70 on this fish. But it turns out the reason his eyes were so big is he's like, oh no. I have to live here with you? And he killed himself. He literally went on a hunger strike, stopped eating, and after 3 days was at the bottom, like by the rocks, by the gravel. And I was so depressed, I was so heartbroken that I never actually pulled him out of there. I was just like, that's where you choose to be, that's where you're gonna be. Alone. It's my thing. Alone. I had a girl, and like I said, she left, and it begs the question though, like, are women born to ruin a man's life? Or is this something that's taught to him? And I figured it out. You know, nature versus nurture kind of thing? No. I figured it out. See, when it happens is, do you guys have sex ed in high school? Health/PE is what they called it for me. You know, one week you're playing dodgeball, and then the next week Coach Tugnuts decides to pull a PhD out of his ass and teach you anatomy. It's awkward, because they separate men in one room, women in another. If you're learning the same thing, why is that necessary? Because you're not learning the same things. It's so much easier for a guy. You know, the bell rings and they're just like, all right, sit down, sit down. Here's what's gonna happen. Guys, y'all have penises. And if you ever decide to use them, just wear a condom. Otherwise, you can get a series of STDs. And then he proceeded to show us a slideshow of various STDs. But he got really into it. Like he had a clicker, and he gave him like nicknames. You know, he's like, click, click, and then there's this one where it's like spikes coming out of the top, like all around. He's like, see that one? Call that the lion's mane. See how this one went from being kind of green and yellow to like purple and yellow the next week? Call that the Brett Favre. Click, click. But for women, it's so much more difficult. It's more regimented, you know, like the bell rings, they're like, sit down and shut up, all of you. Just to recap what we learned last time, it's how to attract a man. Just to recap that, ladies. Some of you will notice you're starting to develop breasts. Others of you will develop them later, and let's be honest, some of you never will. Moving on. Once you catch a man, how do you keep him? Best way to make a man stick around is to make him dependent on you. Dependent on you. Tell him his stupid haircut looks great so other women don't find him appealing. Run up his credit score, because let's be honest, if you need new shoes, why should you be the one to have to pay for them? And then there's this whole like, like the final exam for that is weird because like guys had it so easy. It was all multiple choice. But like one essay question that was like say penis without laughing. And then women had like all fill in the blank with an essay question like the Virginia State Penal Code defines fraud as. And I'm divulging top secret information, and people are wondering, where did you get this from? What happened was, in the mid to late 1980s, the United States government put together a crack team of men, specifically trained, and their only purpose was to infiltrate the female ranks and report back to the males so we can all learn to cohabitate together. And their name was Guys Analyzing Your Synopsis, or gays for short. I love that. I love that I can tell that joke because my brother finally is out of the military. So, I got one, that's all it takes. Yeah. My volunteer is tribute. No, I'm like, because my brother's gay, I'm an honorary gay now. And I'm so excited for that because it's like if I was going to tell a race joke and I had like a black friend, you know? It's the kind of thing where, you know, like, I can say fag, but I can't say faggot because only they can call each other faggot. And I feel like that's way underutilized, you know? Like the N-word, black people use the N-word all the time. Gays never drop the F-bomb, you know? Fag, what up, my fag? You know, like, hey, what up, this is my home fag, Carson. Yo, Carson, why don't you tell them what we're getting into tonight? Yo, you know me. Just gonna go home, crack a 40-ounce bottle of Pinot, smoke a little e-cig, and maybe do some crochet. Who knows? And I feel like that's not fair because my brother, on the gay scale, like my brother's not crochet, he's just clarinet in the marching band. Yeah, that's okay. But by the way, for the record, just quick poll. If my brother's gay and he has OCD, is it fair to say he's the most anal gay I know? I support gay rights. I know it's a divided subject. A lot of people don't. And that's okay. That's your choice. You don't have to support gay rights if you don't want to. But I'm angry at you. Not, you know, like all ignorance aside. I support gay rights, but if you don't want to support, I feel like I'm more anti-gay than you are. Like I'm better at it because, you know, they're like, queers can't get married. I'm like, really? It's the laziest oppression I've ever seen in my life. Like, if you're gonna take if you're that adamant to take someone's basic human rights away, why are you half-assing it? Like, if you're really gonna be like, queers gotta get, like, why not, like, keep going, like, take away their right to vote, make them drink from separate fairy fountains, you know, like, ban men's hair care products. I'm just saying, like, feel the room, feel all this space that you have for your hatred. Like, I know that I already said I'm on this side, but if I was on this side, I'm just saying, like, you could do so much more. And you don't. It's upsetting. But I wish I was gay. Because, I mean, I'm not gay. I got turned down by a gay man recently. I know. Yeah, only my mom was like, sorry. I got turned down by a gay man. Like, I was at a party in Radford, and sluts. I'll drink to that. Anyone else? Anyone? Put them up. There we go. 3, 2, 1. I was the only one. That was embarrassing. I embarrassed myself. But no, I was at a party in Radford, and this dude walked in, and I'm not like stereotyping like, oh, he's gay. His name was Gay Ray. All right. No suspect about it. It was me and my friend Derek, and we're hanging out, and Gay Ray shows up, and he sees Derek and he goes, hey! And then he sees me and he goes, hey. And he kept walking, and I was like, why don't I deserve a really long hey? I got really fit, like it hit the ego to the point where like I popped my collar and did one of these, and I went for it. And I followed him, but I lost him because he went to the bathroom. So I decided the best course of action was to kind of just like post up outside the bathroom and wait for him. And it worked, because eventually he came out. And he walked by, and I was like, hey! And he dropped his head and he started like he expected this. He knew there was going to be confrontation. What? And I was like, why won't you hit on me? I'm a catch. And he said, sweetie, the only way I would ever hit on you is if I really had to take a shit and you were a toilet seat. Right? I was so angry. Like, I don't normally get angry because I'm a pacifist, so I tried to like subdue it, but in my mind, I saw him like driving down the highway that night, but then like he ran into an 18-wheeler carrying, you know, like toxic waste, and it just like spilled all over his car. But not the cool kind, like even superpowers. And it didn't kill him either, don't worry. It just the kind of caused him to like shit plutonium bricks for like a week. Like I really hated this guy. And I was so mad because like I'm single, and even another dude was like, nope, sorry, I can't help you, like, cause girls are like, I can fix him, and the dude was like, I can't do anything. I'm a home decorator, and I can't fix that. It's awful, and it's especially because it was my first time being dumped. When she left me, like, I had no idea. It was my first time. It's never happened to me before. Never been dumped. And it sounds like I'm bragging when I say that, but I'm not, because I didn't know what to do. And she left me, and I was so angry, and I was so furious. And then I realized I've broken up with tons of women. Just respond the way they do, because clearly that is appropriate breakup behavior. So I keyed her car, had sex with her best friend, told her she had a small penis. You know, the usual breakup things. So now I gotta start having sex with strangers. That's weird. I've never had to do that before. You know, like tonight's Wednesday, but like Saturday's gotta be like get laid day. Like I have to mark it on my calendar. My friends weirdly oversimplify it. They're like, you just go out, you meet a girl, you take her home, rinse, and repeat. Take her, like, don't even convince her to go home, just take her, just kind of like, my dibs, here we go. What kind of rapist talk is that? Second, rinse and repeat. I have too much anxiety. I can't just head and shoulders herpes away. But apparently if you want to get laid, you have to like roll the dice. You kind of just have to go for it, you know? Because it's socially unacceptable to be like, excuse me, miss, you are very beautiful. By any chance, do you have syphilis? Yeah, I heard that you said no, but could you like, show me the Carfax? But you gotta just kind of risk it. I was willing to risk it so much that I went on a sex drive recently. For those of you that don't know what a sex drive is, it's when a girl promises she's gonna have sex with you if you're willing to drive 4 hours out of your way on your only day off to go see her. And then you show up and you're exhausted from the drive. So you put on a romantic comedy to help set the mood. And then you just take a nap. That's it, that's all that happens. That's a sex drive. I know, what kind of person would want to do that? I think it's the kind of person that wakes up one day and realizes, oh no, I've been single for 2 years now, which means I haven't gotten any in over 2 years now. So I'm gonna commit to that, like right away. And then you realize that's 3 days from now that I have to do that. And then he starts to freak out because he's like, it's been 2 years. I don't know if I know how to even kiss a girl, let alone have sex with a girl. This is ridiculous. And so then he goes up into his room to practice on his pillow. And then his roommate just kind of kicks the door in, holding 2 shots of Fireball saying, who's ready to get rowdy? And then he's got to pull his pants up and pretend it's more comfortable to sleep in the nude. And then they down that shot of Fireball, and his tears slowly start to fill up the shot glass again. But he doesn't drink that, because even though he's depressed, he's still got some dignity. And then he goes downstairs, and he works himself up into a frenzy. And he's like, you know what, I'm a man, I can do this. I'm a man. I'm a man. And then he remembers he locked his keys in his car. So he cries like a bitch for 30 minutes till AAA shows up. It's kind of a vague description of the person that would want to go on a drive like that. But yeah, I've been single for a long time, and so porn is my best friend now. Thanks. People like porn. Problem I have is I never know where to start. Because you have a browser and you can like search anything, literally anything. And I don't know where to start because I go on like porn odysseys. Like it's 2 or 3 hours. It's a burden. Only on my days off can I look at porn. And that's all my days off are. Like, where do you start with that? And my friends are like, what are you into? And I was like, I like a girl with nice legs, you know? If she has really nice legs, that turns me on. A lot of guys are ass or titties. I'm like, I choose option C, legs. But in a pinch, yeah, it leads up to the ass, so I'm an ass man, I guess. And they're like, well, why don't you just type that in? And I was like, all right, cool. Girls with legs. That's a lot. So then I was just like, all right, I need to narrow it down. Figure it, on this porn, honestly, you gotta go. So I was like, I like a girl with like nice stockings. She has nice legs and she wears these like really long stockings all the way up there. To me, that is the sexiest thing ever. So I typed in stockings, and then a bunch of Christmas porn showed up. And I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this level of porn yet. And I was like, you know what? I'll probably be okay with watching old Saint Nick chrissing his Kringle. I know, it got weird. Because like, not only is he banging midge elves, sorry. Like, it's like YouTube where like one video links you to another. If you like this, you may also enjoy it. And so that's where the Odyssey begins. And you're just constantly going through like, I may also enjoy this, so why not? And then it gets to the point where there's just a girl like reading a book by a fire on a couch. There's like this incredibly huge like box wrapped with a bow and it's like massive, and I'm like, I wonder what's in there. And then you get to find out. It's like Christmas, but with porn. So then, out pops this giant teddy bear. And the box flies off, and she's like, oh my. And then they just started doing it. And then she's getting fucked by a teddy bear. And I had to pause at that point. I had to do two things. One, put the bong down. And two, Google search, what the fuck? Turns out they're called furries. People like to dress up as animals and fuck each other. I think I might be a furry, guys. So if anyone is feeling a little squirrely tonight, let me know. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable because my mom's here, but I'm actually not. I'm not, because she caught me watching porn once. It's funnier when she's in the room, isn't it? She caught me. I was a kid, and she was like, if I ever catch you watching porn again, I'm gonna make you call up your grandmother and read off a list of all the sites you went on. And I don't know if you guys have read The Odyssey, but this was no Iliad. And my anxiety kicked in. And I was like, I can't, because it wasn't so much like the fear of calling my grandma and telling her, like, I watch porn. It was more subtle where I didn't know how she wasn't being specific enough for me. Like, do I have to call my grandmother, like a prank phone call, and just be like, lesby, let's all lick each other's cunts, let's all love it, let's all... And then my grandma's like, who is this? And I'm just reading off a list. Or is it the kind of thing where I have to pretend I have Tourette's and like slip it into casual conversation? I have no idea. I don't know, but I was single for a while, and it wasn't until I became single that I understood the phrase "getting lucky." Because like I've had sex before, but I've gotten lucky like once. And apparently, there's a fine line between fisting a girl and just punching her in the vagina. I call that an uppercut. I'm really proud of that. So I got lucky like one time. And what happened was, we were in her room. And like things started happening, I was like, you know what, cool. Because like the only girl I've ever taken home after a show was like my mom. So we're in her room, and things started, and she kind of like straddled me, and I was like, yes. And then she took my hand and she put it on her throat, and she said, choke me. She was here tonight. But I started to freak out. I was like, oh, come again? She's like, choke me. And I started to freak out, and I was panicking, and I was like, because by my estimate, 0 times have I ever had to choke a bitch. Never happened. So I was trying to think of things I could reference, you know, like movies or something. But unfortunately for me, there was no choke scene in the movie The Notebook. So all I had to go by were like action films. So I was like, what would Jason Statham do? So I put both hands around her throat. which apparently was one too many because she started to scream. And my arms right away, like, they freaked out. And they're like, let her go. But my hands were like paralyzed with fear. So I was just... you know, trying to let go. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. And then the next day we woke up. I was like, I gotta go to work. And she was like, how about another quickie before you go? And I was like, it's been 2 years. Yeah. So like off went my boots. Like I was ready to go. And it was cool because her bed was like against a window and stuff. And so like she bent over and like we were just like going at it like my mom would want to hear about. And I'm like, I thought I hated happy people, but then I'm like, today's a good day. Like it's a good day to be alive. The sun is shining. Birds are chirping, parked out by the street and get towed. Neighbor's getting the mail. Good for him. Hope they're not bills. You know, and then we finished, and I kind of like collapsed over here, and then you know, like she was gonna like roll over to kiss me, and so she rolled over and she brought her leg over and she queefed. And I tried so hard not to laugh. Don't laugh. Don't do it. Don't do it. Shh. Don't do it. And then she brought the other leg over, and it happened again. And then like my inner 8-year-old came out, and I just kind of, and she lost it. She hopped out of bed. She went flying across the room, running straight for the bathroom. But every time she moved her leg, it was like she had squeaky shoes on, but they were queefy shoes. Just queef, all the way across the room. And I'm laughing like a good, jolly Santa Claus laugh. And then I look down at my hand and she shit on me. That was my favorite shirt. And that stain's not coming out. She shit on me. I fucked the shit out of her. And I'm alone now and it sucks. That was awesome. But like, because my ex-girlfriend, she left me, and now like I can't get laid because of it. It's like the opposite of rape. Like she's forcing not sex onto me now. And that's the kind of thing you can't really call the police on. You're like, 911, what's your emergency? And you're like, I just want to love somebody. But how cool would it be if you could? If you were just like, oh, don't, you know, they're like, dispatch, we got a unit on your, just stay right there. And then you're just standing there, and then an ambulance shows up, and like 2 guys hop out, and it's like, my God, that is the worst case of blue balls I've ever seen in my life. It's like, calm down, rookie. You light that lavender candle, and you set the mood, otherwise we're gonna lose them. And then they load you up in the back of an ambulance, you know? And they're just like, oh, okay, here we go. Well, no, his erection is making it impossible to take that belt off. Scalpel! And they have to like cut through the belt and they pull that off and they're like, all right, here we go now. The pants, all right. Oh boy. Whew. Fleshlight. Clear. His heartbeat spiking. His eyes are rolling in the back of his head. I think we're losing him. He's gonna. No, he came. Yuck. And then just kind of pick you up and lay you down on the sidewalk to take a nap. then it become like this whole big new problem, you know? Like married successful people are like, seriously, my tax dollars are going to hand jobs in the back of an ambulance? That's really? You know, they're just pissed off on their way to work, like it's a Saturday night, make some plans, get a date, loser. All right, thank you guys very much.